Play from the blues. We have a dance group. We have a culinary group. To really focus on Chicago, both business and culinary hospitality industry, and renew our relationship with Shanghai, which is a sister city relationship.
So do you have specific goals you want to achieve?
Well, first of all, it's a vision. It goes business to business, and government to government, again, to meet the mayor and talk about a closer relationship that we may have. As you know, we're thinking of building a high-speed train from O'Hare Field to downtown Chicago. And, of course, China, as well as other countries, have done this before, so we're interested in their business approach and also them to look at it and give us maybe invest in it and be able to design it, build it, operate and maintain it. So that's what we're going to be looking at.
China to help the Chicago to maintain?
Oh yeah, we've been doing that for the last 6 months, a year. Oh yeah, definitely.
China's high-speed train is designed by Germany.
Right, but still, I mean, still, everybody has a part of it. You know, if you look at all the parts are built all over the world, and so of course China has been in the forefront with their management companies in doing this as well. Yeah, they use Germans, they use Americans, they use South Americans, all over the world. But again, we're looking at that to talk about that and look at it. Maybe it's possible here.
So we understand that you want to boost Chicago as a global city.
Right. Yeah.
But we all know that Beijing and Shanghai, they have the whole nation supporting them.
Right.
And the Chinese government goes all out to make them as window cities.
Right.
And in a democratic country like the United States, Chicago may not have this type of national campaign supporting them. So how will Chicago compete with them?
We compete with because of the business community. That's number one. Centrally located. Everybody knows where O'Hare International Airport is. All traffic, all air traffic, all rail traffic, and all truck traffic comes to Chicago in the middle of the country. And so, like I said, we have competition around the world, and here it's a different form of government, but still we promote it. We have the mercantile exchange, we have the future industry here, so we have a lot going for it, besides the city of the future. The business community, not-for-profits, and community organizations have built this city, will continue to build this city. So this is always a progressive, moving city. We have great cultural history here, wonderful museums and theater, smaller theaters. We have wonderful symphony and the opera. So it's a global city in its own right.
So after the bid for Olympic, do you have new ideas how to promote Chicago as a global city?
Well, we promoted it.
Learn something from that.
Well, that's only one event. The process of going through the Olympic was very important for us because, first of all, you're competing with wonderful cities, Tokyo, Madrid, and Rio de Janeiro. And for almost 2 years, you were on the stage from which it's all free publicity. We didn't have to pay for it, and that's very important. At the same time, our business really promotes it throughout the world. It's the business community that really promotes a city. And so in our society, that really helps us tremendously as they have business throughout the world and they promote Chicago.
Okay, good. And one more question. So being a global city, Chicago also has a global vision in supporting a lot of international issues.
Right.
And particularly in 2002, the City Council unanimously passed a resolution containing the persecution of Falun Gong right after the President of China visited Chicago. So when you go to China to meet their leaders, do you have so how do you represent the tradition of Chicago's tradition of human rights, respecting human rights? Well,
I think human rights is a problem throughout the world, and we all deal with human rights continually. Here in America, we have so many freedoms that you automatically accept it. You don't. Well, like anything else, China's going through a transition from pure communism from Mao influence there, and as they move forward, they continue changing drastically. In the last 3 years, you would never expect a middle-class population building up in China. I've read the China Daily since English version for so many years, and I can see the difference from the original one I read maybe 10 years ago, whatever it was, all the way today, discussing issues such as crime, corruption, discussing policy issues of urbanization, environment, all the things that go in with a free society. And so China is moving forward, but like anything else, they're going to stay on their own agenda, which you kind of respect.
I beg your pardon, your last word is their own agenda?
Yes. Yeah.
Like What's your understanding of their agenda?
Well, they've gone from communism,
Yeah.
and they're trying to move to a democracy, which is very, very difficult, and that's what they're doing today. So,
do you ever know that actually the majority of the Chinese companies, they grow, the reason for them grow big is because they have support of the government.
oh, I know that. Yes, yeah,
So
I know that. Yeah.
it's a very different way of running the
Oh, yeah,
enterprise
but-
there than here.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. I understand that. But again, as they grow, then they become self-sufficient, and eventually they'll be spun off. Eventually, which is a smart move, because I mean you're taking advantage of the capitalism, and you're taking advantage of your present form of government. So it's a win situation. Otherwise, they could not survive today. It would not be what it is today. Shanghai would not be there. Beijing and all the other cities and growth factor throughout China. I mean, to be realistic, if you didn't have this relationship. And some people like it, some people don't, but I have to give them credit. They're building their economy, whether I like it or not. I may criticize it, but I have to give them a lot of credit for doing that. That's a lot of foresight and a lot of decision making to do that. Very complex, but I have to give them credit for it. And maybe people may differ, but still, you have to give them credit for it.